Moti.
Source of influencers.
And how important is fitness, bodybuilding in your life? Is it the most important thing in life, or what's important in life?
Yeah, I always tell it's pretty much the gym, and everything else revolves around that. Everything else is scheduled around my gym time. And that's like when I get up in the morning, I do my fasted cardio, then I head out to work for my clients. But then I have my gym time scheduled for midday. Like it's pretty set. I actually had a friend that was in the hospital, and I was like, and I had to stay. Like they were in the hospital for like a duration of time, and I legit was like doing lunges down the hallway. I was like, well, I'm just gonna go work out here, like just because And I had a friend of mine that brought me like some resistance bands for the hospital, because like we were really like they were being monitored, so I couldn't really leave. But a friend of mine brought me some resistance bands and stuff to the hospital, so I can like literally I was working out in the room and stuff and through the hallway. But fitness is it's very important to me. When I used to, before I got into fitness and things like that, I was always like, I used to party, I used to go out and drink and all this stuff, like drink and party and stuff. And then, I don't know, I always say I found the gym, and the gym is what saved my life, because it was getting to a point where it was getting out of control. I was drinking more than I should, and it wasn't just on the weekends, so it was like, this could potentially become a problem. And I've had those kind of issues in my family history. So yeah, once I got to the gym, I think that's kind of where all my attention went to, all my focus went to, and it changed things for me. It definitely, it's addictive. So I feel like, it was like leaving this one addiction to find this new addiction, and at least this one is, semi-healthy on this end. So like, yeah, the gym definitely changed a lot for me and gave me a good outlet. So
you had a party life going on before
I definitely
the gym.
it was yeah, I was going through a bit of time. Like my mom had passed, so I had like a bunch of stuff going on. So it was like, nothing matters. So it was like the drinking and the partying and blah blah blah, and it just, it was a bit much. And then so then when I found the gym and I started working out, and I was like, well, I can spend a few hours here, and that's pretty much what happened. I left all the other stuff alone, and I just kind of fell into this. So I always say, bodybuilding, it saved my life, because I don't really know what would have quite happened, if I'm being honest. Like it was getting bad, and I was like, so yeah.
But was it only drinking, or also
Drinking, drugs, it was the whole bit. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So, and I had lost a job over it, like showing up to work. So it was.
What happened? Can you tell me more about it?
I was showing up drinking. Like I would drink before work, and showing up to work. And at the time, I work in an office, a medical office, so it's like you can't talk to people if you're not even hungover, like literally still, drunk from drinking on the way to work and smelling like alcohol. So and the job was lenient for a while, and they're like, you know what, I don't know what's going on with you, but we can't have this at our front desk, and you talking to people, So it was, once that happened, I was like, oh, this is really a problem. So once we got into started working out and went through my first workout with my friend and stuff, and once I joined the gym, it was just like night and day. I was like, and then for a while I was spending hours there, and that was just me as just first starting out, but it changed my life. Bodybuilding saved my life, and I say that all the time. Like I don't know where I would be otherwise. Probably homeless and without a job, clearly, because that was the path that we were headed down. So, yeah. And then I tell that story to most people. I had a client of mine who was an alcoholic, and when she would come to sessions sometime, and she would still be drunk, or she would be, and I'm like, I can't train you like this. Like and I would send her home. Like there were a few sessions where I sent her home, and then I remember, and I trained her off and on for about a year, and then I want to say maybe like 4 years later, I ran into her at a Walgreens. She just happened to be coming in, and she hugged me, and then she whispered in my ear, she's like 2 years sober. And like, that was just huge. And like, we stood in the middle of the store crying and hugging in the middle of the store. But like, those are the reasons where like, I tell my story, and the reason why I do my job. Exactly for that reason. That she got sober and changed her life, and fitness helped, and I helped. And yeah, so it's like stuff like that. So I'm like, I tell people all the time, like, my story wasn't so much that, I was, 300 pounds, and then I joined the gym to get fit. No, that's not my story. That's not what got me into the gym. What got me into the gym was drinking and drugs and losing my job. So, yeah.
Do you regret that you didn't discovered your talent in fitness earlier, on an earlier age?
Yeah, because I could have been an Olympian at 22 versus I do, but then I don't. You know, I feel like it to a certain extent, whatever, everything happens for a reason, and when it's supposed to happen, I had to go through whatever I went through to then be able to have that story to tell this particular person to help her change her life and get sober. So I feel like all that, everything kind of happens for a reason. You know, had I not had my situation, maybe she would still be an alcoholic right now. Maybe she would have never saved her life or changed, you know, her way of doing things either. So you know, I'm like, yeah, had I started out younger, you know, I mean, I'm 38 now, so I'm like, yeah, if, you know, if I had been doing it in my 20s and really, you know, younger, then maybe I would have made it to the Olympia sooner, or who knows. But we're here now, and that's kind of how I feel. And you know, I try and take care of my body. I make sure I, you know, see my doctor. I see my massage therapist. I make sure I try and keep, because I mean, we're beating up on our bodies a lot. So I just try and stay as healthy as possible so that I can stick around for a few more years and, you know, keep competing and stay competitive. So.
Follow the Moti on Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat.